nervous. You got me nervous. I was calm.
I'm sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Jade getting dental with it. Today I have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Alexis Payne from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a first year dental student with Jade. I got my bachelor's in biology from Howard also, and I got my master's in physiology from Case Western in Cleveland.
So today we're going to be answering questions. Please bear with us because we are D1, so we don't know everything about the College of Dentistry at Howard, but we're going to go ahead and get started. The very first question I got was, what is it like in the dental field? I think I got this question because I used to be a dental assistant. I'm not sure how to explain it, but as a dental assistant for a general dentist, we saw about like 15 patients a day. I know it can be different for ortho. You can see like 30 or a trillion, especially for peds. I feel like it's very fast paced, especially being an assistant to the dentist. I really like it. It's very hands-on. You also have to work on your posture because your back can go bad very quickly. So the second question is, what was the process of choosing a dental school? So for me, I knew what my scores were. I knew what my GPA was. I only applied to 7 schools. I also applied to schools where I knew if I got in, I was going. I don't care, no matter what. I know there's some students that apply to like 20 different schools and they have like their safe schools and then they have their dream schools, and then if they get into their safe schools, they don't want to go. After that, I made sure I fulfilled the requirements that they had, so GPA requirements, DAT requirements. And the other thing was the familiarity, if it had what I wanted in a school. I also spoke to students that went to the school via social media, so I had applied to Tufts is one of the schools that I had applied to, and I had messaged some people, and I also watched the Future DDS YouTube, and that was just amazing.
So my process of choosing dental school, I applied a couple times, so I learned from the mistakes of the first time and how to do it better. And one of the main things about getting into dental school is applying early. Apply before June is over. I know that's not the question, but apply before June is over. I knew where I wanted to go. I told you I went to Howard for my undergrad, so I loved Howard, spent time in Meharry. A lot of my family went to Meharry. And I also am from Cleveland, and Case Western has a dental school, and that's where I got my master's, and I saw myself there. So those were the 3 schools that I applied to and got in, but I also applied to Tufts. I love Tufts. Some people from Howard went there. I also applied to to Illinois and Indiana because they're close to Cleveland, and I applied to Maryland because DC, Baltimore, that I was very familiar with those areas. I also made sure that I fulfilled all of their requirements. I think I ended up taking Ohio State off the list because they didn't look at undergrad and masters. My GPA would not have turned out to be in my favor to apply to Ohio State. Also, I didn't see myself there. This is so stressful, and there needs to be some sense of sanity, familiarity. Comfort. There has to be something that is going to hold you together.
I made sure I applied to all 3 Florida schools because I'm from Florida, so I knew familiarity was there, but comfort in itself, I don't think it was fully there.
Like, this is not something where you spend a couple times a week with them. This is something where I'm completely solely invested in. This is who I am for the next amount of years, and you get to choose that environment.
The next question is, how late are the labs open to practice or finish up projects?
So the clinic and the labs close at 5 o'clock every day, and they're not open on the weekend. Last semester for the wax ups, our first semester, and yeah, they closed at 5, so you had to hustle in there like breaks or, when we didn't have classes and stuff.
And we have multiple labs too.
Yeah.
But that lab specifically closes when the clinic closes because it's on the 2nd floor.
And the sim lab will experience next year, and in the summer, I don't think that's open that often. How long is the sim lab open?
I have no idea.
No.
We haven't been in there yet.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned. How often do you guys have flipped lectures? So I think this question came after I posted the video about having a flipped classroom. I'm not sure how often they do that, but it was something that we did our first semester for our anatomy and histology course. Yeah.
There was about a little under 10 times that it was intentionally a flipped classroom where we were straight up just answering questions. But some professors do lecture in that manner where they'll ask you questions throughout their lecture.
Or why did you choose Howard, and how do you like Howard so far? So for me, I chose Howard. I guess plain and simple, it's for the culture. And then how do I like Howard so far? I think I like it. I think there are some things that I would like to personally change or add to Howard. Other schools have a tutoring system, and they even have dental tutoring sessions, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I would love for our school to do. I also think those students or whoever would tutor would need to be compensated.
I definitely chose Howard because of the culture. I had experienced Howard in DC before. I was ready to get back to Howard after my master's at Case Western. It was good. It was a very good time. I loved my friends, but I knew I wanted to come back to Howard. For what I like about it, the people, the culture, that's my favorite part about it. The material is fine. It moves at a pretty fast pace.
The next questions are, they all come together. Is the faculty supportive? How is your experience with the professors, and do they work with students? So in my opinion, the faculty is supportive. They want to make sure that you are at least trying to. Like, you have to show them that you're trying. Because they're not just gonna throw everybody these bones or whatever. Like, you have to work for it. So once they see you working for it, they're like very helpful. And like, I'm always in this one professor's office hours all the time, but he sees that I'm trying, so he's willing to help.
So it's definitely about your effort. They understand that this is very difficult, and that the amount of material that is being thrown at you, the short span, 15-week semesters, they understand that it's a lot of material, a lot of new material, and they want you to all understand it in a very in-depth way, because the following semester, the following year, they're going to expect you to understand it completely.
And add on top of that.
And add on top of it. They understand where you're coming from, right? It's a lot of information, it's a lot of material. And they want to see you succeed, but they don't want you to give up.
How much clinical exposure do you gain within your first year? So if you're talking about hands-on experience in the terms of clinical exposure, then I think that we don't have as much, but they're pushing us to do more. And we're doing hands-on stuff in dental materials, so working with resin and cement and all that stuff.
In terms of real patients, it's basically shadowing. You'll shadow 3rd and 4th years, residents, and that's basically, you do that every semester. You have that opportunity.
This semester we are doing clinical observations, and we do have the opportunity to assist some of the D3s and D4s, so I think that's pretty cool. I know there's some people in our class that are hygienists or dental assistants, so like people like them, they're really used to doing it, but there are also students in our class that have never assisted before. So I think it's great that we're being able to push them into this environment before we even get to our D2 year, where we're doing more hands-on stuff. So they get familiar with the patients and how to hold the high-speed suction or slow-speed suction, or figure out when the dentist is going to need you to do that, because then you're going to have to figure out when you're going to want your dental assistant to figure out that you need the suction.
Dental assistant appreciation was like last week.
And I think they threw a party for them.
They threw a huge party. It was popular.
The question is, do you guys still primarily have exams on Mondays, or are they kind of whenever? So I think first year, our exams are predominantly on Mondays.
Every single Monday, not predominantly, every single Monday there was an exam. August 31st was our first exam, and then we had a break November 12th. But sometimes it was tests sprinkled out on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
So like there would be a Monday, then the Friday, then the Monday. Or the Monday, then the Thursday.
And then Monday.
So the last question is, do you guys do any externships at clinics or dental offices somewhere? We've been approached about research before and having an opportunity to do that.
So in terms of externships, doing stuff on actual patients, you have to pass part 1 of your boards. So we're gonna take that this summer, and we will pass part 1 this summer. But we haven't. We don't get that until late. People will ask us to do stuff like that, you know, in the summer between D2 and D3 year.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. We hope that it was very helpful and very informative about Howard University College of Dentistry. We hope that we answered your questions very well. I hope so. If you have any more, please be sure to leave them in the comments or to DM me on my Instagram, Gettin Dental with that. And thank you for coming, and see you in the next video.